Hello everyone! In this video I want to take a look at the newly revealed Druid class legendary card from Hearthstone's Journey to Un'Goro expansion, Tyrantus. Tyrantus is a 10 mana 12/12 minion that cannot be targeted by spells or hero powers. Okay, well, is that a bit of a letdown? I mean, at least Tyrantus has already gathered a solid crowd around it cheering 400 dust, which is the dust you get for disenchanting a legendary. But is it really that bad, or could it actually see play? Let's think about this a little. The ability can't be targeted by spells or hero powers is actually very, very strong. This has been shown to us by Sogot the Slitherer, which is a 9 mana 5/9 taunt with the same ability. Sogot the Slitherer has not become a stable, it has seen some occasional play, but when you play that card, it's really hard to remove. You cannot cast a polymorph on it, you cannot fireball it. There are still many ways to remove it though. You can remove it with area of effect spells, you can remove it with, say, Twisting Nether, you can remove it with spells that don't target it directly, so they're random, like Deadly Shot, Brawl. You can remove it with Battle Cries. Well, in case of Sogot, there's the Black Knight, and in case of Tyrantus, there's the Big Game Hunter. So there are still lots of options theoretically to remove such a minion, but in practice those minions have been really, really strong. In fact, when you look at it, when you play with the cards, when playing with Sogot, for example, when you're facing a Control Warrior, well, that's a bit more rare nowadays, but let's say you're facing a Reno log, then the most common answer to Sogot is actually Sylvanas and Power Overwhelming, to try to steal it away. And incidentally, Sylvanas is rotating out of standard, so that one-size-fits-all answer to a minion that cannot be targeted is no longer available. That looks pretty interesting. However, there's one big downside to Tyrantus. It fails the big minion test. The big minion test dictates that when you play this high-cost expensive minion, it has to have an immediate effect. Sogot, even though it doesn't have a battle cry, it has an immediate effect. It's a 5/9 taunt. You want to kill me, you have to go through Sogot first. Tyrantus 12/12, no taunt. Hard to destroy, easy to ignore. Well, would there be Druid decks that want to play Tyrantus? Well, there's Jade Druid, which is the most common form of Druid right now. And Jade Druid wants to cycle, ramp, Jade. It doesn't need a 10 mana minion. Especially one that doesn't have taunt, doesn't help it defend. If it wants to go on the offense, it goes on the offense with that 10-10, with that 11-11, with that 12-12, and with the 13-13. It has all the late game offense options it needs. Only thing it needs to do is defend until then. Tyrantus doesn't help it achieve its game plan at all. Jade Druid is not going to run this card. What about Ramp Druid? Could Tyrantus herald the return of Ramp Druid? Well, Astral Communion is rotating out, so Astral Communion deck would have played Tyrantus. In Wild, an Astral Communion deck might play Tyrantus. I think it would play Tyrantus. But it's rotating out, a regular Ramp Druid. What does it have on Jades? Jades ramp both their mana and their minions. Ramp Druid just ramps the mana and still plays expensive minions. Is Tyrantus enough of a threat that it can actually kill Jade Druid before Jade Druid kills the Ramp Druid? Not really, no. And even if the Jade Druid has to trade in 3-4 Jades into Tyrantus, it doesn't care. The next ones will be bigger. Tyrantus just doesn't have what it takes to take on Jade Druid. Well, Tyrantus has one thing going for it, which is the Beast tag. So, what about Beast Druid? The current Beast Druid couldn't care less about Tyrantus. The current Beast Druid is fairly aggressive deck, but it's also going to lose a lot in the rotation. It's going to lose Savage Combatant, it's going to lose Druid of the Saber, it's going to lose Mounted Raptor, and it's going to lose Druid of the Flame, which is also sometimes played for its synergy with Fenrir Staghelm. And so Beast Druid is actually losing a ton. What does Beast Druid even have remaining? It has Menagerie Warden. Ooh, Menagerie Warden. Well, you play Tyrantus, and then you play Menagerie Warden on that, and then next turn you have 2 copies of Tyrantus. That sounds pretty sweet, actually. And then Beast Druid plays Mark of Yashurash. And you can't even buff Tyrantus with Mark of Yashurash, because you can't target it with spells. So one of these cards has great synergy with it, the other doesn't have any. Add to this the fact that Beast Druid no longer has the tools to remain this aggressive tempo deck that it has been, and we just might find some kind of a spot for Tyrantus. If Beast Druid were to become a variety, a type of ramp druid, then it could run Tyrantus and Menagerie Wardens, and that might even be able to challenge some Jades. Okay, they're playing their Jades, but when you have 2 12/12s on the board, and you're just going to go face here, they won't be able to catch up with Jades. That's actually pretty interesting. And there is a historic precedent to this. The traditional ramp druid, in the last days before the previous rotation, there was actually another variant, which was the dragon ramp druid, and I would rate them very, very close to each other in power. The dragon ramp druid was played a lot less, but they were still very close in overall power level. So if it was possible to construct a beast ramp druid, then you could find a place to play Tyrantus, and then you could kill those Jades with, or kill their owner at least, with 2 12/12 minions to the face. Interesting. The problem right now is that Beast Druid doesn't have the cards to build this. We have not seen all the Ungoro cards yet. Maybe enough cards will be revealed that this kind of Beast Ramp Druid would become an option. And for Tyrantus, I really hope that would happen, because that seems like the only way Tyrantus would get to see play. I just cannot figure out any other deck that would want it. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and subscribe to my channel for more.